Okay.
All right. So just to get started here, hello. My name is Kristen Neely. I'm the Director for First Year and Transition Programs. Mr. Christopher Hensley could not be here, but he is the Program Coordinator. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about our story. I don't know if a lot of you know, we are over at Enrollment Management. In 2014 to 2015, we were actually in Hispanic Outreach and Student Programs. So there were 2 staff members. In 2015, a year later, they decided to break those offices apart. So Hispanic Outreach and Retention was an office, and then Office of New Student Orientation and Prospective Student Experience, you can see why that was a problem, but its orientation and campus visits was one side, which was a director and a coordinator. In 2016, they changed the name again to Office of First Year Transition Programs. That's where I enter, so I have been here for about 2 years. In 2016, we really sat down, and by we, I mean Chris and I. There's 2 professional staff members. And I said, what do we do? What are the main pillars of our office? So we do campus visits. We have daily visits at 10 and 2, Monday through Friday. We do school and community visits. So high schools, all the little people walking around with the bags all day long that you see, those are our people. And then, of course, main event preview day, which pretty much everybody is involved in as well. You can see new student orientations. You can see our numbers for freshmen and transfers and parents. We do those throughout the summer, and we also do those in the spring. Then we have transition programs. So we do lead line camp, which actually this past year, first year track, hopefully you kind of have an idea of what that is, helping students kind of get connected to the campus for the whole year, making sure the retention goes up, hopefully. Line camp is kind of the kickoff for that, and Chris and I sat on a committee of about 8 members that kind of kicked off first year track, and we are still involved in it today. So we are helping with the first year track mentors. There are 75 students in that program. And then, of course, not to forget, our student leadership development. So Chris and I can't do it alone. We do have student paraprofessionals. So we have 4 executive orientation leaders that then run the orientation leaders, which are the 30. Then we have 4 lead line ambassadors that then also help with the 30 line ambassadors. So a little bit about our 4 pillars. Why? What am I asking for, right? I'm asking for wages, student employee wages. So you can see at the bottom of your handout kind of what we had got, what we were funded last year, and then what we are asking for this year. We are asking simply for OT stipends, which we have been blessed enough to be receiving last year, and then also line ambassador wages. The connection between this is a traditional enrollment management funnel. So for anybody, just a little enrollment management lesson, we don't just have people show up on campus and say, hey, I love it here, let's just go here. It takes a lot. It takes recruiters, it takes phone calls, it takes mailings. So to finally get them to this admit level, and then they actually come to orientation. And we're still recruiting them when they're at orientation. We're still putting on the best face, still trying to get people to come here. So 75% of our students attend a campus visit and they apply for admission, which is wonderful. But the main point is we have to get them here in order to sell them on the institution. I wanted to put in here, Alexander Aston, a little theory for you, student involvement. It refers to, so what he says student involvement is, it refers to the amount of physical and psychological energy that the student devotes to the academic experience. So hopefully our leaders, our O team, our line ambassadors are getting involved, they're feeling connected, and they actually will retain and stay, and then hopefully someday go into the field themselves as higher ed. The presidential goal of 2,000 freshmen. I'm sure you all have heard this. Actually, when I looked at my presentation last year, it was 2,500. So hopefully we can bring home the 2,000 that we are trying to do. I put Grit up here just because Grit to Greatness is kind of our marketing slogan right now, and I do truly believe that we do have students that come in that are literally going from Grit to Greatness, and I want to make sure that my line ambassadors and my O team are in that category. Potential impact of cuts. So, of course, if we were to cut our line ambassador team and our campus visit offerings, we would have to just restructure and kind of look at where are we putting our time and our money into, our resources, and is there something we should scale back on? Or possibly charge for campus visits or main event preview day. We did some benchmarking with some other institutions. I don't want to do that because it's, like I mentioned previously, we are a hidden gem out here, and I want to make sure if people come that they don't get charged for that. but several institutions do charge for preview days, and they also, some charge for, if campus visits, we have several groups that sign up to come, and then they actually do not end up coming, and they actually get a charge for that. So we don't want to do that. O-Team summer restructuring, we might have some people that we have to move around a little bit, and then as I mentioned before, we are paraprofessionals for our student employees. So why do we do what we do? We transfer student lives. So I have one of my wonderful students here, and actually Isaiah is an O-Team member and he is a Lion Ambassador. So I just wanted you to kind of be here for a little bit and tell a little bit about how both teams have kind of transformed your life.
Hello everybody, it's so nice to be here. Again, my name is Isaiah. I'm a freshman on campus. So today I'm going to be talking about the First Year in Transitions program and a little bit how it's basically been a big part of my life and a big part of my experience here on campus. The First Year in Transitions program here on campus, they strive and they work to hone in on the commitment, the excellence, it's like the integrity of the university. And I believe that's what is part of the growth of the university. That's a huge part of the growth of the university. So me as a Lion Ambassador, which is I took it as a Lion Ambassador coming into this semester, and I believe I saw it as an opportunity for growth. Like I told you, I am a freshman, so getting that opportunity, I believe it has been a growing experience. I've been able to make personal experience with the freshmen and with the prospective students that do come on campus. I've been able to make personal connections with them, and try to get them to understand that this is, this is really, you get the best bang for your buck here. It's like at this school, you're going to get a lot of opportunity. You're going to get a chance to network. You're going to be able to meet administrators that are going to know your name. You're not going to be a number here on campus, and that's some of the experience that I've been able to tell to our families that come on campus every single day, and that's something that allows me to get excited about going to my job. I actually like being a Lion Ambassador. I like being on the O-Team. I'm actually going to tell you all the story. So I was at my orientation, and during that time I was in between graduating from high school, so this is not too long ago. It was around this time last year. I went to the first orientation. I wanted to get the best classes, but I was really happy. My parents were supposed to come with me. My dad actually had a stroke a week before my graduation. I'm trying not to, I don't want to make it sad or anything, but like it actually turns into a good story. But my dad had a stroke, and I had to go to orientation alone. He was in the hospital. I went to orientation alone. I drove down to Commerce alone. It was just a really disheartening predicament that I was put in. But when I got here, I was kind of nervous because I was alone, but at the same time I wasn't alone, because I got to meet amazing orientation leaders like Cindy and Marcus that really pushed their high energy and their jovial attitude on me, and I wasn't feeling jovial, but by the end of orientation I was, and it was the people in orientation, it was the energy, the connections that I made that really impacted my retention rate. I know that this is a school I want to be here for 4 years because of my orientation experience and because of my campus tour that I got with Marissa. Last year when I first got here, everything is just so personalized, and it's just something that me as a Lion Ambassador, being a Lion Ambassador and an orientation leader, I wanted to push that same growth off and my same experiences off on new students so that they continue to come to school here. It's not just a one-year thing; it's a forever thing. Because that's what it is for me. I'm so glad to be here to talk about this program. Yeah, I love it. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Time.
Yeah.
Yes. Questions? You guys have questions for Kristen? Any questions for orientation?
I think you guys really have improved the atmosphere on campus, like the constant tours and stuff. It's fun to see groups around.
It's fun to see the buzz, and I do believe that we are, we talked about, with Ruffalo, Noel Lovett's consultant that kind of came in and talked about strategic enrollment management. We really feel like we're on the cusp of really just going over the top with A&M Commerce and taking it to another level, and especially with Dr. Young's leadership coming on. So we're really excited to continue to grow the population, but we do not intend on growing our student O-Team or Lion Ambassadors because of we've So we're just kind of doing more with less.
It may be in your thing, but tell us what you do about transition, students coming from junior colleges. What
Sure. So they can come to main event if they would like to, so we do have that. And then typically we actually work with a lot of community colleges that bring groups on campus. And so we'll either have, like last weekend actually, we just had a Saturday visit. Unfortunately it rained. We tried to go to the Fill the Park, game, try to do some fun things for them. But they get a campus tour, they get an admissions presentation. Whenever possible, we have Peggy, who is our transfer recruiter, come out and talk a little bit about articulation agreements and so on, and kind of making that smooth transition. We actually just talked with Paris Junior College. They were on campus for a transfer summit actually at the beginning of the month. And I asked, would you guys like to come down and just kind of see the campus? Maybe we could go to a game of some sort because they don't have football. And they said absolutely. So we're planning something actually this fall for them.
Kristen, how'd you fund Lion Ambassadors this year?
Okay, good
Because
question.
I know you got cut last year.
Yes.
So I'm just curious how you funded the
So
Lion Ambassadors.
in 2016, before our previous administration moved on, we were allotted $80,000. So for Lion Ambassadors. So what we had to do was we did have to cut out. Lion Ambassadors used to be funded. They would have wages, which you can see at the bottom here. These haven't changed. And then they used to have actually a $1,000 scholarship for every single Lion Ambassador as well. So we had to cut that $30,000 out of the budget, unfortunately. And to my surprise, we still had people come and work, and not only come and work, but with the leadership from our Lion Ambassadors, we've had almost 80 to 90 people apply for positions that are just 30. So that's really great. It's good to know that students don't just come for the money. To work, but so we had a little bit left over. I was able to secure from Dr. Young's enrollment management budget about $15,000, and so we have been supplementing kind of off of that, but it's not going to be self-sustainable. So unfortunately, we only have one budget line item for orientation, and so I've been using a little bit of that money to pay for Lion Ambassadors, but it's not going to be self-sustainable.
Okay, thank you.
Do you ever use student workers or work study?
Yes, we do, but we did discuss a little bit about that a little further because we were talking about like a telecounseling team of some sort, but we didn't have any money obviously, but we know that we need to be reaching out. So we looked at just hiring work study students for that telecounseling team, but of course when we pick the best and the brightest, we ask if they have work study, and if they do, then wonderful, but we don't specifically, I guess, kind of look for that.
Or student workers? What about student workers that would be paid by with federal funds?
Oh, okay. Do you mean, I'm sorry, I guess I was just
Students
thinking.
that qualify for, and I might not be exact here, but
Okay.
students that check a box on their FAFSA forms that are
Mhm.
qualified for federal funding, Pell Grant funding, are able to work on campus, and those students,
And they get paid, not work study, they get paid something else
student
that doesn't
workers
come
and
out
work
of
study,
my
yeah, two
operating
different.
budget?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I
A
should.
portion of their funding
Yes, yes.
is paid for.
Okay,
Now, I'm not exact on that,
Okay.
but that might be a great avenue for you,
Yeah,
especially
Yes.
it's
for
like
girls.
75%, I think.
Yeah.
is what
Now, I'm
they're-
not
talk
exact on all
to
that.
Maria maybe?
Yeah,
She'd be
financial
financial aid?
Yeah, we have
Okay.
state and federal funding that, we don't utilize it enough. So-
Okay.
And there's
Yes.
always, people are always coming past my office looking for.
And looking for jobs,
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Okay.
And I know it has to be a certain kind of student to do what you guys do, but that
Hopefully,
might
but
be.
if we could get a 2 for, if it's a great student and they need,
Yeah.
then that would be a
Very
wonderful
much
fit.
stretch your budget.
Absolutely. Maybe we could add that to our application,
Yes.
maybe.
Or they
to
work
ask.
study, yeah, or
Yeah.
student work or whichever.
Yeah.
Certainly,
Something.
certainly couldn't hurt you.
Yeah, absolutely not, absolutely not. Help me all the way. Mhm.
Other questions for orientation? No? Thank you very much this morning.